Continuous pressing in static condition, emerging technology of the enological sector. With the help of this video, we will clarify the aspects of this innovative machine and its operating principle. Its form is compact, linear-shaped, occupies about a third of space of a traditional membrane press of the same potential. Its sample hatch allows a favorable access to the internal mechanism for an easy and radical cleanup operation post-processing. The machine is made of a cylindrical cage inside which, off-center, revolves a large cylindrical pestle. The pestle is equipped with sliding wings in appropriate channels, which delimit constant volumes of pressing. We can regulate the distance between the cage and the pestle according to the needs of the pressing, taking into account the various grape cultivars, always operating with a grape cake of reduced thickness to ensure a good yield and constant quality characteristics. This internal operation highlights the physical principle of the continuous pressing in static condition, that is, cage and pestle rotating in the same direction with the same peripheral velocity. Let's highlight this operational principle. We introduce a small cube of synthetic rubber between the cage and the pestle. Observe the deformation of the cube. The resting plane at the pressing parts, they remain perpendicular to the reducing thickness. They don't become slanted, which means that there is no sliding. This indicates that the two rotating parts in reality remain static in relation to each other, so there is no rubbing that can break the skin and the grape seeds. That's how the pressing, in conclusion, occurs as in static press with parallel planes and a gentle and delicate manner, but not to forget in a continuous manner. Now let's see the press in operation during comparative tests conducted in collaboration with Foggia University by the team of Professor Luigi Moio. These tests have allowed us to compare the pressing in the innovative static condition and the pressing with the traditional membrane press. From the batch of grapes ready to be processed in the continuous press, some samples are taken to be processed in the membrane press for a homogeneous comparison. The grapes previously destemmed are introduced in the machine by the appropriate pumps with delicate action. Observe how the grapes arrange themselves between the two pedals in a regular and homogeneous manner, occupying constant volumes, meaning that they are prearranged for correct and exhaustive pressing. The advantage to confine the material to be pressed in well-defined volumes with a pressing carried out on small constant thicknesses ensures constant reliability of the final product. The must drained from the cage drips into the collection tank underneath the machine, while the peels and the seeds are discharged by an evacuating screw. Pay attention to the quality of the grape skins. They appear not to be exhausted, but don't be fooled. With this machine we can obtain results that go well over 70% of free-run must. The gentleness of the pressing is also witnessed by the integrity of the grape seeds. The university team collects samples of must and marc to compare them with the samples obtained with the membrane press. A series of analyses has highlighted the characteristics of the musts and their differences. The complete study is discussed in Professor Luigi Moio's final report. The differences between the two musts, highlighted in the influential study, affirm with certainty that the Mr Branco, named after the inventor of the continuous pressing in static condition, is unparalleled. Now we see a typical installation of our press conducted for the cellars of the Taburno. The need of this winery have requested a configuration of the pressing production line which could guarantee a complete exhaustion of the marc. In the meantime, at the bottom of the continuous press in static condition, which, not to forget, guarantees a yield of over 70% of free run must, an Archimedean screw-type press has been installed to recover the remaining low-quality must destined for distillation. The installed press is a Branco 1006 25 model with a working capacity expressing 25 tons per hour of distemmed grapes. From the controlling panel, the operator has the possibility to observe the filling of the machine. This way, he can make the necessary adjustments to reach optimum conditions. The simplicity of the operating functions can be appreciated by the few necessary controls of the machine. The production line, in its essential parts, is made up of a receiving tank fed from a distemming machine and a peristaltic pump that feeds the press continuously. The must drips into the collection tank underneath the machine and is immediately sent to the fermenting tanks to avoid any contact with the air. Watch carefully the gentleness and the pressing witnessed by the integrity of the grape seeds and from the color of the skins that are transferred to the final Archimedean screw-type press. At the end of the process, all is exhausted, but what is most prestigious is the 70% of free-run must that the Branco press will send to the fermenting tanks of the winery to be transformed in quality wine.